Hi, Black Cat Recapped here. Today I am going to explain a romance movie named After We Collided. This is about a man named Hardin, who spent the night in his car and woke up in front of a train station. When he started to pee, a homeless guy approached him and asked for money, but Hardin got angry and shouted at the guy to leave. On the other hand, there is a girl named Tessa who is going to her first day at her new job. She meets a guy at the company who works there too. When she arrives, the manager decides not to introduce her to the boss because he looks very angry. Tessa is given her own office, where she works so much that she ends up sleeping through the night and wakes up at 9:50 in the morning. Her boss is in her office when she wakes up and asks her to come along with him and his colleague in a car. Their boss reveals that they are all going to a digital conference, where he needs to secure funding for expansion. Hardin meets a mysterious woman who is going to give him a tattoo on his arm. Meanwhile, the boss goes to a hotel and instructs his manager to take Tessa shopping. In the hotel room, the manager reveals that she is not just the boss's assistant, but also his lover. She took care of the boss's son after his wife passed away, and they became involved with each other. Tessa learns that Hardin suggested her for the job in this company. Hardin's tattoo starts to heal, and he receives a text from his friends inviting him to hang out with them that night. At the nightclub, Tessa looks charming and attractive and impresses everyone. Trevor, who dislikes nightclubs, talks to her, and a man offers them a large drink which they end up sharing. While the boss dances with Kimberly, Tessa starts to feel the effects of the drink and goes to dance. Hardin is still upset about his breakup, and his friends try to cheer him up. Tessa starts dancing passionately with a random guy but imagines that he is Hardin. Meanwhile, a girl named Molly tries to kiss Hardin, but he pushes her away and leaves, causing her to shout at him. Tessa calls Hardin and admits that she's very drunk, but she hangs up when Hardin mentions how he texted her many times after their breakup without getting any replies. Hardin also says that he knows her location before the call ends. Then, Trevor comes up to Tessa, and she asks him for room service, French fries and ice cream. They talk a bit about themselves, and accidentally, Tessa spills wine on Trevor. Meanwhile, Hardin has tracked Tessa's location, and when he arrives, he sees Trevor's glasses and forcefully opens the door. He is shocked to find Trevor inside the washroom, and they go to a room to argue. Tessa gives Hardin two choices: either they have romantic moments together, or he leaves. Hardin chooses to have romantic moments, and they spend the night together. The next morning, Tessa and Hardin are seen sleeping, but she remembers she now works for Vance. She receives a call from Kimberly and rushes to work, despite Hardin wanting her to come back to bed. They argue about the previous night, and Tessa admits that it was a mistake. However, when she accidentally mentions kissing a guy at the club, Hardin becomes upset. Tessa tries to avoid the topic and leaves, but Hardin tells her that he spent a night with Molly just to tease her, which angers her, and she throws food at him before leaving. Tessa meets Trevor and apologizes for the events of the previous night. Trevor mentions that he knows Hardin because they both worked at Vance Publishing last year. Hardin seeks advice from his stepbrother about everything that has happened and leaves in anger after their conversation. Landon, who is Tessa's friend, texts her to explain that Hardin did not sleep with Molly. Tessa sees his picture and goes back to work feeling relieved. Trevor comes to Tessa's office and reveals that he arranged for her to buy an affordable car, and the company will cover the insurance. Tessa is happy and ends up kissing Trevor, making him nervous. Landon reads Tessa's birthday horoscope, which suggests she might get involved with a mature partner, something that doesn't sound like Landon. Tessa also blocks Hardin from social media. Tessa goes back to their old house to collect her things but finds a gift from Hardin, a Kindle with all her favorite books. Hardin and a woman come in and talk about a bath, but Tessa is angry until she realizes it's Hardin's mother. Hardin didn't go to London because he didn't want to go without Tessa, and he didn't mention their breakup to his mother, leading her to think Tessa is still his girlfriend. Tessa stays at their house for one night before leaving to meet her own mother. Later, they are together in their old bed. Tessa tells Hardin she'll leave the next morning, and she also bought a car. They start kissing, unable to resist each other's presence. Tessa arrives at her mother's house and meets her ex-boyfriend, who mentions something about her dad. She learns that her mother didn't allow her father to see her for some reason and gets angry, leaving the place. She eventually goes back to Hardin and hugs him. In the middle of the night, Hardin has a bad dream from his childhood, but Tessa comforts him when he wakes up. In the morning, Tessa finds Hardin's mother, who reveals that Hardin has been having nightmares since he was 8 years old. She tried various medications, but the nightmares only went away when she met Tessa. Later, Hardin decides to give Tessa another gift since she opened the previous one without him. He plans to give her a perfect day and agrees to do whatever she asks. They go ice skating, and it's clear that Hardin is not used to it. It might be his first time. They then attend yoga classes together, and they both have a lot of fun. When they return from the classes and are about to take a shower, Tessa gets a call from Kimberly. At the office, Kimberly is very busy and asks Hardin and Tessa to take care of Vance's son. While they are with the boy, Hardin accidentally uses some curse words, but he manages to handle the situation so that Tessa doesn't hear it. Afterward, when they are alone in the office, Hardin and Tessa express their love for each other and share romantic moments. Later, they go to meet Hardin's father and invite Tessa along. They arrive at a big mansion, and during the conversation, Hardin reveals that he was planning to move back to London, which upsets Tessa a little bit. After the fight with his father about their past, Hardin gets very angry and ends up hitting his father. His mother is also upset and warns him that this behavior can ruin his career. Back at home, Hardin is upset and starts drinking a lot while listening to music. Tessa comes back and tries to talk to him, but he doesn't notice her because he has earphones on and sneaks away. Tessa talks to Trevor about Hardin and his issues, but because she loves Hardin, Trevor thinks it's a problem. He also reveals that he's going to Seattle for a higher position. Later, Hardin apologizes to his father over the phone, and Tessa returns to him, feeling happy to see him fixing things. They decide to go to a party together, and Hardin even gives Tessa a kiss. At the party, Tessa drinks a lot and plays a ball game, which makes Hardin nervous. After a while, they come back down, and Hardin tries to take drunk Tessa home, but she wants to drink more. Molly and Tessa played truth or dare but ended up fighting each other badly. Later, they had romantic moments together on New Year's Eve. Tessa went to the washroom, and Hardin saw a text on her phone about her going to Seattle. They had a heated argument and parted ways. The next morning, Tessa woke up to find draft texts she wrote to apologize to Hardin. Hardin, after charging his phone in a friend's car, called Tessa, but she got into an accident while answering the call. Hardin tried calling hospitals to find Tessa but couldn't locate her. Finally, Trevor picked up Tessa's phone and told Hardin never to contact her without her knowing. Hardin walked away, and later, Tessa found a letter from him saying he was leaving for London for her own good. Desperate to talk to Hardin, Tessa sends him a text. Meanwhile, Hardin starts having nightmares about Tessa. His mother advises him to fight for what he loves. Trevor reveals that he answered Tessa's phone once when she was in the hospital, and wanted to tell Hardin something else but didn't get the chance. One day, Tessa sees Hardin at a celebration but leaves nervously. Tessa surprises him by appearing beside him and signals him to join her in a cab. They reconcile and get along. One day, Tessa encounters a homeless man who turns out to be her father.